Alright, I thought I would do a video because I couldn't find anything exactly what I wanted when I was searching on YouTube for using a water heater for both floor heat and domestic water heating. Now, before I get started on this video, you may ask me if I am a professional at this. Absolutely not. Do I know what I'm talking about? Maybe 25%. I know this works in my floor, so it's kind of been trial and error. So I'll try to explain everything. I guess you may call this an open system. Some people may call it an open, some people may call it closed. I don't know really what to call it, other than it feeds my water fixtures in my shop, as well as takes care of the radiant floor heat through via thermostat and the switch relay. So I'll try to break it down for you to show you exactly what everything is here today. So I got a 80-gallon electric water heater. Has the upper and bottom element, 220. I don't know how many BTUs it actually is. I'll show you that. But we're going to start with where the cold water enters the system. So because of this being stagnant and the risk of having your water being stagnant in the floor, maybe I should say too, my shop is 24 by 40 and 11 by 11 corner. I don't actually have the water lines in the floor because I have a walk-in cooler that I use for butchering. But the rest of the shop has 4 different circuits or loops, I guess, but it's really just a one loop system because it's on a single thermostat. So the water heater, I had the cold water comes in, let's see, right here. So because I'm using a water heater, my pressure tank exceeds this emergency release valve, which is typically on radiant heating is set for like 30 psi. So my water temperature on my tank, or my water pressure on my actual well tank, is I think between 40 and 50. So if I just let the pressure from the well circulate the water, it would blow this valve. So I had to buy a pressure regulator. So the cold water comes in, I got a pressure regulator. Of course you have a shut-off valve, so you can make things easier to change. And then I have a check valve. It's actually kind of like a shark valve, I guess, one way, so that the cold water cannot backflow into the water heater. From there, I ran it into my expansion tank. This, I guess, the purpose of the expansion tank is just to help reduce friction on the radiant equipment. I just left it set at the pre-manufactured, pre-charged, whatever it's called, 12 psi. And I got the 2-gallon because of the 80-gallon water tank. If you have a 50-gallon, the smaller one would be okay because of expansion when your water heats. Because I have an 80-gallon, I needed to go with the larger expansion tank. Here's my air release valve, or for the air in the lines. You set that according to the specs in the whatever the directions that came with it. I set it and he just forgot about it. Actually, I haven't messed with it since. I just let it go. There's my emergency release valve. If it gets over 30 psi, I, um, it'll actually blow and come out the bottom. Um, right now, I currently have my pressure at 25 psi because I'm using my water fixtures. So I keep it right about 25 psi. I have a shop tank and a shower and a bathroom out here. It makes it easier to keep the pressure up, get your water flow. So the cold water comes in, actually goes through the floor, um, drain to drain if I need to change anything. Goes through the floor, and then this is where it comes back into um, the water heater. So I actually have one-way valves on each of my lines going into the floor. This is with the hot water going in. Why do I need that? I'm not sure. Found it on the internet. That's the only reason I put them there, I guess. Somebody might be able to give me a better description, but that seems to be to check backflow. I guess if your lines aren't maybe quite the right length or quite equal, maybe there's some risk of backflow. I really don't know, but I just did it the way I found. Really, I used about, I don't know, 2 or 3 different sites to try to figure this stuff out, and some of it's just been trial and error as well. So the water comes back out of the floor. Got a pressure gauge after it comes out of the floor. This one, pressure and temperature. This one's 25, 26 as well. I currently have it set at like 47 degrees, I think, because I don't need it to be that warm in my shop. I'm not out here that much. Into the circulating pump. This is a HydroSmart. I bought it from Menards. It has 3-phase. I turn on the lowest setting. The circulator pump is wired to the control switching relay, which is wired to the power, which is wired to my thermostat. Thermostat calls for power, flips the pump on, the pump circulates the water in the water heater. I set it at about 120 degrees roughly. It's not that hot, and it seems to be doing the trick. Now, this is the first month we had here in northeastern Indiana. We had cold weather for about 3 weeks. I had it set for 55 degrees. The first day I hooked it up, it was 12:30, no, it was 2 o'clock when I hooked it up. By 9 o'clock that night, I had it up to 52 degrees in the shop. I kept it there. We had sub-zero temperatures at night. It was 0 to 15 degrees in the day, and it maintained 52 degrees, which is really cool. Now I checked my electric bill, and it was about $70 more for the month than it normally is. So I don't really know how much I use. It's just about the extra it cost me. I turned it down because I really don't need it 55 degrees in the shop. It's just really more of a preventative to keep it from freezing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can add. I'll probably think of something later, but that's about the end of it, I think. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to answer your questions, and I'm sure there'll be people that will criticize the system. But the good news is, if the water heater does eventually give out, I can always hook it up to a boiler or a on-demand type water heater, and it will do the trick as well, maybe even more efficiency. But I'm cheap. I think the whole system here, I have, of course, the water heater was given to me, so I can't really say that's free. I think I looked it up. That might be like a $700 or $800 water heater, but I only have about $700 in supplies. So I got heat in my shop for about $700. Yeah, like it if you want to. If you don't like it, you can give me a thumbs down and something to critique. Let me know that too.